I want to talk about the product manager of the future. Okay. I want to talk about how the field is changing, why it matters, how AI is going to change product management as we know it for the better, I think. But first, let's do a little table setting. We both subscribe to Lenny's newsletter, Lenny Ratatouille. Has anyone ever said his name out loud? Does anyone know how to pronounce
I'm
the
sure
man's name?
there's a YouTube video of literally the man himself saying his name, and we will look at that after this recording is over.
Anyway, we all read Lenny, love him, slightly larger audience than we have. He just launched his State of Product Management with a bunch of data about how hiring has changed. The crazy growth that we saw in product manager hiring has flatlined, basically.
Okay, so if you cast your mind back to the 2010s, there was a point in time where everyone seemed to be a product manager if you worked in tech. The product management hiring curve just kept on going up to the moon. Lenny has this chart that you can show later that shows that kind of cresting at some point post-pandemic. There was this huge pandemic surge in tech companies writ large, and they just hired all these people. And then there was a boop, deep cliff, and it started to kind of come back a little bit, but we are not seeing the same product manager growth curve that we saw before, which means that something pretty fundamental is changing in the tech world.
And this comports with what we've been seeing certainly at the big companies, the Googles and Metas of the world that have been cutting middle management ranks, trying to thin out these multi-layered management structures, which were largely occupied by lots and lots of product managers.
I have a theory for why this is happening, but I think we first got to explain, and I challenge you to do it, Andrew, what a product manager is. Go.
I knew you were going here. It's okay. As product managers, we always joke that it's hard to explain to your mom what you do. We're generalists who can do lots of things well and maybe no single thing great. The product manager is the person that brings together all the disciplines of the business, design and engineering and growth, and also is the voice of the customer and builds and ships and improves products that are good for both the customer and the business. See, I gotta refine that pitch, man.
Okay. Can I be real?
Yeah.
I was a product manager at the Atlantic. You were a product manager at a number of other organizations. Love my bosses, love my time there, grew a lot. Being a product manager has to be one of the most thankless jobs out there, in my opinion. You are in a tech organization. You can disagree with me in a second, but you're in a tech organization. Often you have no reports, just none. I never did. And yet you are responsible for making stuff happen at the organization. And at no point did I have a developer working for me or a designer. I was like a dotted line to various people, and I kind of had to convince them to do the things I wanted. And I found that to be, as a maker, as someone who's really invested in just getting their hands dirty and making stuff happen quickly, I found that weird, necessary soft power just kind of odd. And I know product managers are different at every single job, but it's kind of hard to describe what they do. And I personally think that's why in this era of efficiency, where tech companies are trying to really justify the hires they have, we're seeing fewer being brought on board.
But on the soft power thing, when I was a younger product manager, I remember really agitating for being effectively more like a GM. Why doesn't engineering report into me? It's so hard to get anything done. I want to own the whole so that I can ship better, faster. And I never got anywhere with that. And I was glad I didn't, because what I learned is that building soft power is far more potent, far more durable than hard power, right? Hard power is like, this person reports to you, so they have to do what you say. And you didn't do anything to earn their trust. You just hired them. Soft power is a bunch of people who don't report to you that you got to inspire and excite and get aligned. And if you can pull that off, you can actually do a lot more damage in an organization. But damn, it can be a grind building that soft power sometimes. And sometimes you just can't because of organizational dynamics that are bigger than you.
I hear what you're saying. I feel like you're spinning a bug into a feature a little bit. I'm hearing if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. It's so hard to make it. I agree. The soft skills I've learned have served me to this day. However, I don't think it's necessarily the best way to build a product. It's just the way that we grew up doing it.
Okay, well, let's talk about where things are going next. We are seeing the rise of the product engineer. And I do feel that one of the happy outcomes of this explosion in product managers is that more people have learned how to think like product thinkers, not just product managers.
I think it's so much more healthy that we are saying, no, anybody on the team can be a product thinker and product leader. And I think you're totally right. I think we are seeing companies, they are saying, well, let's get some player coaches out here that can do the thing. They're makers, they can design, they can engineer, but they also have the mandate to do some product thinking and strategy. And listen, I go on Reddit, I've read about this, like there are some very strong arguments against this because, hey, if you're taking a top level engineer and you're saying, well, now you also need to be in charge of the roadmap, you got to make sure our epics in Jira are filled out right. Like that is bad. That's like work they probably don't want to pick up. But I think it's just as bad to be like, you can't think about that stuff because you got to get your head down on your tickets, man.
Well, are we going to see more product managers who are more engineering-ish in nature, right? Like a product manager can be much more dangerous and become much more of a maker with the help of AI. And I've been reading about the rise of the super IC, what used to be a super senior director or VP who had a whole army of product managers underneath them may now just become an individual contributor with no directs who can use AI to do all the work of PRDs and all the kind of outputs that product managers have to produce. And so it doesn't bode well for like the total open headcount of product managers. But I don't think it diminishes in any way the value and need for product managers.
So I think this is the classic question. Like, what advice would we give to current product managers in this world? And it's like, I think the boilerplate is, well, learn AI, learn to code, learn to do some design, be even more of a generalist. I kind of take it a different tack. I would say you should either seek organizations where you are truly empowered and you have the resources to get things done. And maybe there's fewer other product managers, but you're central to what they're trying to do. Or, I went in the maker direction, right? I was at the Atlantic. I was a product manager. Half the time I was making prototypes. And that's a type of product manager that I think can also thrive. If you are a maker or a doer, you can go to an organization and immediately make your ideas a little bit real, show their value, and then have the rest of the org make them really real. And it's like magic.
I think my core advice for product managers hasn't changed, which is to fall in love with problems, not solutions. Too often we fixate on solutions or stakeholder needs or short-term revenue needs. But when you fall in love with problems and the people who have those problems, you build really amazing things. And I don't think AI or product engineers or anything is going to change that.
Okay, well, I think we've talked about that enough. Before we go, though, I would like to make this more of a regular thing where we end the show with our little game, This or That. Are you willing to play? So I've got one for you this week. Are you ready?
I don't know what you're about to ask me. This is truly a surprise.
So Andrew, This or That, Keynote or PowerPoint?
Keynote.
Okay. Wow. That was quick.
I mean, it's no contest. PowerPoint is an abysmal piece of software. I thought you were going to say...
Is Keynote good? Is Keynote...
Yes.
Like I opened up Keynote and I'm like, what is this?
Keynote is a design tool with amazing animations. And I thought you were going to say Keynote or Google Slides, which is a very tricky one because no question...
Well, then let's swap it. Yeah, let's do that instead. Forget PowerPoint.
So Google Slides, web first, collaboration first tool. Keynote was very late to the game. They did introduce collaborative editing. It's very unreliable. I've had some heartbreaking losses of content. It's the classic Clay Christensen disruption theory. Google Slides solved enough of one pain point that it didn't matter that it's actually worse at a bunch of other stuff than Keynote. It's so much harder to make beautiful presentations with beautiful transitions and fonts and all of that. And yet it's so easy to collaborate and so easy to share that I think the world has largely moved to Google Slides. And if you're emailing a zip with a Keynote file to someone, it kind of feels like 10 years ago.
Well, can I give you my answer now?
Yeah, I'm afraid of what you're going to say.
I'm going to cheat. I'm going to say I don't like Keynote because I never figured it out. PowerPoint also is not great because it's you're in a 1980s, F16 dashboard or something. It's terrible. I actually like using Figma. And I'll draw a distinction. Figma, innovative creators that they are, have rolled out a Figma Slides like sub app within their product to help people make slideshows.
I think they figured out. What do you think of Figma Slides?
Well, so I dislike Figma Slides intensely. I feel like they have stripped away so much of what I enjoy about building stuff in Figma, which is just this free form, super easy interface, something I'm already used to using, but also very easy to present through. So I enjoy using Figma, but I enjoy using the original Figma that has unlimited creativity versus the new version of Figma Slides that they're trying to roll out to make some slide deck stuff easier. It's just not, the product's not 100% there. It's not good enough yet.
It is wild how Figma took over the world as fast as it did. Like, I think my entire workflow is Figma based at this point. I haven't opened Keynote in ages.
And they just rolled out a bunch of new stuff too, with like brand assets and an AI thing too. So yeah, they're an amazing company and they're going somewhere. Let me tell you.
It's a good thing that Adobe deal didn't go through, but that's another podcast. All right, before we go, if you like this podcast, please like this podcast. You know what I mean? Like, click that like button. It actually helps a lot. I think that's it. Until next time, we are the Andrews, and we'll talk to you next week.
Keep on Andrewing, right?
Yeah. Wow. Another solid ending to a solid podcast.
All right. Goodbye, bud. See ya.